Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Glenn Tan speaking. This time, we are going to talk about how to install the GMV5 Home series. This presentation divided into these three parts. First, I will introduce the total procedures, and after that, I will divide it into how to install the refrigerant system and how to install the water system. Here is the total procedure how to install the GMV5 Home series. I compare with the regular heat pump VRF, and you can find that the orange color. This time we just focus on that, and the total procedure is first the preparation, and after that to install the outdoor unit and the indoor units. After that is to install the hydro box or the converter, and then install the water tank and also the water piping system. After that is the regular, which is the same as the heat pump VRF, the refrigerant piping and also the condensing piping. After that is the power cable and the communication wire. And then to install the floor coil, the last is to do the commissioning. And this time, we just focus on the orange color, how to install it. And on the actual system, just follow this diagram. I divide it into the converter, which is only for the side discharge. And also on this graph, you can find that the blue color, this is the refrigerant piping. As for the water piping, it is only for the domestic hot water in and out, these two. Very easy, right? As for as for the hydro box, which is this one, and this is the outdoor unit, this is the water tank, and here is the indoor units, and also this one is the floor coil. So for hydro box, here is the refrigerant piping, the blue color. For the water piping, it will be the orange color. A little bit complicated, just compare with the converter. On the second part, we will focus how to install the refrigerant system. For the refrigerant cycle, first is the requirements, and either for the side discharge and top discharge, the indoor units divided outdoor units capacity ratio is only from 80% to 100%. And as for how many or the upper limit of the hot water generator for side discharge, only one. Top discharge, it can install max 2. And here is the total piping, which is the max piping length. It is the limit for when you adopt the converter. This one, it connects with the water tank, and this is for the indoor units. So the total piping length is, it can be up to 300 meters, and from outdoor unit to the furthest indoor unit is the same as the regular heat pump, which is the GMV Mini 120. And also for the other limits, just follow this table to finish the installation is okay. And also, by the way, it is available to do this design on the VRF selector, and you can decide the systems on that, and also when you input the piping information and also the indoor unit selection, the software will tell you whether it is okay or not. So for this one, it's just for your reference, this value. When you adopt the hydro box, and just follow this diagram to install it. And also for this one, when for side discharge and also the thought discharge, the piping limit is a little bit different. Just pay attention here. And for the others, it's almost the same. Also, you can rely on the VRF selector to have a double check. At the third part, we will talk about how to install the water system. Here is the diagrams for your reference when you're going to install the water system. And if it is only for the domestic hot water, for example, only for the hydro box, in this case, just follow this diagram to install the components. For example, here is to connect with the tap water, and then it offer this one, the domestic hot water in, and then after heating up, here is domestic hot water out. And also it will offer the water to for the circulate, which is to heating up this one. As for the adapter, it is more easier because it just send the refrigerant to heating up the water inside it. If you apply the DHW plus floor heating and just follow this diagram, which is only up for the hydro box, follow this to install the system is okay. And also the tap water here, it is the same as only for the domestic hot water. The difference is this part. And you can find it for this one. We use this valve C to control the hot water to heating up the DHW. Also here the same, the valve D here. And also we use the valve D to control to send the hot water to the flow coil to do the floor heating. Water tank installation. For this one, the water tank, we don't require you buy from Gree, but just follow our requirements to install the water tank. It's okay. And first is this water tank should close to the hot water generator, which is the horizontal within 5 meters and the high drop within 3 meters. And after that, just ensure the inside pressure it should be less than 3 megapascal. And also there's no cut-off valve between the water tank and the safety valve. This is the common sense, right? And also just follow this diagram. This diagram is just to ensure the inside water pressure within this range. So if and it is within this range, the installation is the most easy one. And if the pressure is less than 0.1 megapascal, we need to install the check valve, this one. The purpose of this one is just to prevent the water to backflow to the outside. And if it is higher than 0.5 megapascal, you need to install the regulator to lower the pressure into this range. According to your actual requirement, you need to tell the system which function you activate or which function you don't would like, which is to deactivate. And here is how to do the setting, which is also on the PCB on for hydrobox located here, this one, and for converter, it is this one. And which is this? There are two this switch. This one, S1, is for capacity. Also keep it no change. This one is the function to tell the system which function you like and which you don't have it. And just follow this table to activate this switch is okay. As for the water piping system, here is the requirements. And first is the water piping material. We require the PPR. We comment this one. And how to do it is use the Hotmail connection for this one. And here is a video just for your reference how to connect the parts with the pi lines. And for this one, this time we're going to connect this pi with this three-way. After melt it down enough time, then we can put it together and also just ensure there is no gap. And this is finished. Also, for the PPR pi, the inner and outer walls, it should be smooth. And also, you need to install a gas release valve just to release the air track inside the water system at the highest position. And here I will just display you how to install the most complicated DHW plus floor heating. And first, just follow this diagram to install the total system is okay. And I will divide it into step by step. And the first step is to install the water supply pipeline, which is this part. And on the actual, here is an example. This is the water tank. This is the hydro box. And we need to install the pipeline from the tap water inlet and then follow this piping to the water tank water inlet. So you need to install a cut-off valve, and also this is the filter to ensure the water quality. Next, we are going to install the circulate water. First is the water in, which is this part from the tap water, and then we offer this water to here, which is to the hydro box. And then which is according to this diagram, here is the actual results, which is this part. And on side, you need to install the first is the valve gas release valve A. This is the menu. The purpose of it is just to release the trapped air in commissioning stage. And the gas release valve, this one, it is auto. The purpose of it is also to release the air, but it is in the operation stage, which is located at the highest position of the water system. And also this check valve to prevent the water to flow back, and also a regulator to ensure the water system pressure it should be less than 0.3 megapascal. Next, we're going to install the circulate water. This time is out, which is outlet of the hydro box, and we need to offer this hot water either to the water tank from the valve C or to the flow coil from the valve D. And here is the actual piping, which is this is the outlet of the hydro box, and then from here to the valve C to the water tank, or from the valve D to the flow coil. And also please install this gas release valve B. It is manual. It is also to release the trapped air or the gas in commissioning stage. And after that is the valve C to the water tank circulate in, and also the valve D to connect to the flow coil water pump, and then this one connect to the flow heating performer, this device. And at last, it will be finished installation, which is this is the sketch map, and this is the actual result. As for the electrical wiring, just follow this one to ensure all the function and also all the components is wired is okay. And here I just focus on the optional functions. First is the water tank heater, the dry contactor located here, which is in charge of the water temperature higher than 55 until the max 70. And also, if the heating up speed is not that fast, also we will activate this one to help to speed up the heating up speed. And the other is the flow coil heat pump, the water pump. If it is less than 330 watt, you can connect to here directly. It is 220 volts power supply. If higher than this value, you need to connect to a dry contactor. Next is the water return, which is the instant hot water. At that time, we need to detect the water temperature, which is from the CN49. It is 50 k ohm and water temperature sensor. If we detect the temperature is less than the preset value, and also during the preset time, we can turn on the water return pump, which is this one, to circulate the water. And later, I will explain how the system operates. And next is the solar heating, and also similar when we have a temperature sensor on the solar panel, and if the detected temperature inside the solar panel is higher than the DHW, then we can turn on the water pump, this one, and to circulate the water to heating up the DHW. This is the installation diagram for the optional functions. And on this diagram, you can find that this is the water tank. And here is the hydro box. And you need to connect with the water tank temperature. This is the CN48 to detect the DHW temperature. And then then here is connect to the water to the water tank, and then you can, after heating up, we can get the DHW from here. And first is the return water function, which is the instant hot water on the controller. When you activate this function, it will display this icon. And here is how it works. And also we need to install the water temperature on CN49, and basically put it here, which is near to the user uh, water. And then if we detected this water temperature is less than your setting, and also during your preset time, we can turn on this backwater pump to circulate the water back from here back to the uh, water tank. And for the user, they can get the hot water, which is conduct from here immediately or instant. And the next is the solar heating function. For this one, we require this water tank. There should be two coils. First coil is for the GNV home, which is for this one, and this one is for the solar panel. And also, we need to have another temperature sensor to detect the solar panel temperature. If this temperature is higher than the DHW, then we can also circulate this solar water pump to circulate this water to heating up the DHW. This can higher the system efficiency. Next is to remove the air between the hydro box or the water tank or the flow coil. And here I just listed the steps, and on the most complicated DHW water tank plus the flow coil system. First is to close all the gas valve and also the drain water out. And then step 2 is turn on this tap water, which it conduct the water here, and then also open this one. The purpose is just to release all the air inside this DHW water tank. And after that, at step 3 is turn on the this cut off valve and also the gas release valve A. This two to release air of the circulate. And after we confirm there's uh, water flow out from the gas A, which is come out from here, then we can turn on this one to also to release the air. As for the step 5 is we confirm there's no gas flow out from this A and B, then we can power on the hydro box and also activate the clean function. And the method is just to press this button to activate this clean mode, and then the system will turn on the built-in water pump automatically. Turn on this one, which is to circulate the water. And then after we confirm there is no gas coming out from the gas release of valve of the hydro box, then we can ensure there is no gas inside the water system. Then we can exit the clean mode. Water tank volume setting. The purpose of this one is just to tell the system the capacity or the size of the water tank. And if it is less than 300 liter, no need to change it. If higher than that, you need to change to the actual water volume. And just follow these steps and you can change the volume. And the first is to get into this P60 to change it. And then as this one wire controller to control mounted hydro box. So first is just to find out your target hydro box, which is connect to the water tank, and then change to the actual volume. It's okay. Flow heating performance linkage control. This function, the purpose is just to use a wire controller to control the flow coil directly. With this one, there's no need any other device to control, which is the flow heating performer. Exactly what it is inside the valve directly. And from this diagram, you can find that here is the hydro box. And from here, it will offer the hot water through this valve D to the flow coil. And then at the flow heating performer, which is different valve, we just control different coils. And then, for example, this coil, it connect to here, and then go back at this valve 2. And also this coil will connect here and go back at this valve 1. We can use or we can connect this valve 1 and 2 to the hydro box directly, which means from here we can control this valve directly. And this how to control it is from the wire controller, which means from the wire controller we can control this valve directly and don't need any other device. And just like this, and here there is a wiring which offer you up to 6 valve. We can control up to 6 valve. And on the wire controller, here is a flow heating mark. For example, this time we're going to control this valve 2 to conduct the hot water gas through of this flow coil. And then we can just turn on this valve 2, and also first of all is do the wiring of this valve 2 to here, which is to this XT5, 11 and 12. And then this hot water can send into this valve 2 directly, and of course the command is from here. And after you do the linkage with the Y controller, which is to do the linkage to the in-dock unit, then you can achieve this 3D heating. That means the in-dock unit doing cooling, and also the floor coil is also doing cooling. That means you can heating up the room from every direction. This slide displays how to do the floor heating performer linkage control, and also will show you an example, which is to combine the floor coil number 1-3. That means the number 1 hydro box and the on valve 3, and the in-dock unit portion number is number 9. So here first is to enter this P39, and then as we one Y controller to connect mounted, which is up to 3 hydro box. So the first is to find out which hydro box, and also in this case just change this one to find out your target. It's okay. And after that, first you need to change it to select which valve from 1 to 6. Our target is number 3, so make this one to be 3. And after that, need to change this one, which is this, to be number 9. Then we can combine the floor coil number 1-3 and the in-dock unit number 9. Combine them together, and after that it is available to activate the 3D heating. As for the commissioning, which is after you install all of the systems, and then you need to do the commissioning. And for this one is very similar to the regular GMV system. The difference is just the 15 and 16. We need to do the water heating, and that's all. That's all for the GMV5 Home Series installation. If you still have any other questions, please feel free to contact me on this email address.